And then, I can say the easiest way to answer it beyond that is the races. I've won 2 races here on the Xfinity side, and those 2 race wins meant so much to me. Over the years, you kind of start to forget some different things that happen in your life and in your career. I'll never forget those. So, and that was in the 2nd tier series. So I can only imagine what it would mean to me in the Cup Series. And hopefully, we can pull it off.
As an organization, Team Penske has 25 wins here. Now that covers several different series, as you mentioned, Xfinity Series, IndyCar. How important is
and was it the Can-Am used to race here too?
I think so. Yes.
And of course, win a Can-Am race here?
No. That's a good homework for him. And of course, Mr. Penske used to own this facility.
Yes.
So how important as an organization is this track?
Well, I think all the teams put a lot of emphasis on it, besides probably the Toyotas, because Chevrolet and Ford are here
For obvious reasons, right?
And we really want to make them proud. Ford has a huge contingent here that they bring from the factories, and they have a whole tent and display set up for that. That's pretty neat. Of course, you want to make those guys proud, and I'm sure Chevrolet has something similar to that. So that means a lot. Roger Penske lives here in Michigan, and I grew up here in Michigan, and he still has his offices and has a lot of employees here in the area, and I know he takes a lot of them here, so that means a lot to him as well. And of course, I have family and friends in the area, so there are so many reasons why winning here would mean so much to us, and I almost get tired of talking about it because
I told you they're going to take my license away if I don't ask you.
It's like an open wound that the only way it can be healed is to win. So hopefully we can pull it.
What are the keys to this race tomorrow when we drop that green flag? What should the fans here in the room look for? Something where when it does happen, they can say, oh yeah, Brad told me that was going to happen.
All right, first off, you cannot win this race if you have any kind of pit road penalty.
Okay.
So that's probably number one. Because it's too hard to pass all the cars to get back up to the front seat. So that means you have to be really good on pit road, and that means your pit strategy also has to be good. You can make a small mistake with your pit strategy, you can't make a big mistake. So look for pit strategy. The way the race breaks out, you have to pit at least 3 times. And so with that in mind, getting that right is really important. Whether you take 2 tires or 4 tires and when you pit, always going to play into who wins the race. So that's key. Another key is going to be the restarts. Getting a good restart and establishing position, because once you can kind of get settled, once you get past the first lap after a restart, the field kind of settles in. And so you need to establish position or protect position if you're the leader really, really well there. My teammate Joe Logano won this race in the spring. He had a restart with about 20 to go or so where it didn't go his way. He got swamped. He fell all the way back to 5th or 6th. He was able to catch a few breaks and make a few really good moves and get up to the lead. And the next restart, he hit just right and drove away and won the race. So those restarts are really, really important.
The PJ1 that they added here, the first time that they've done that here at Michigan, it's on the very extreme upper groove right up near the wall. We haven't seen a whole lot of people venture up that way in the 3 practices. How is the PJ1 going to play out when we drop the green flag?
So yeah, if you don't know what the PJ1 is, if you look on the track, you'll see it's kind of stained on the outside lanes of the corners. It's really a lot blacker than the bottom, so it's kind of gray versus black. It has a distinct contrast to it. And what that is, quite simply, is it's really sticky syrup. Similar to if you took a Coca-Cola and poured it on a concrete floor and then walked across it. If you ever spilled Coca-Cola or a Pepsi in your kitchen floor, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's the same concept, except more so, even stickier than that. And it's made to last on really hot pavement for a long time. So it's not new to racing. Drag racing's been using it for a long time. And stock car racing has used it for a long time. They got away from it about 2 decades ago because one version of it is extremely toxic and cancerous. So they got rid of that version, and they tell me this is an environmentally friendly version. So I don't know if that's true or not. It's not FDA approved, but
what is that thing you got growing on the side of your head? Oh, no, never. No,
exactly. Yeah. So if I come back here next year and I got 3 eyes, I know why. But no, but what it's supposed to do, though, quite simply, is the inside lane and the middle lane, specifically here at Michigan, has so much more speed than the rest of the racetrack that they put that down on the outside lane to try to speed it up a little bit. That way you can run side by side a little better. We don't really know how it's going to play out. This end over here in 1 and 2, they sprayed it, and they sprayed it really, really high up on the racetrack, and it's almost so far up that it's probably never going to do anything. But this end down here, I think you'll see it get used a little bit. In fact, I've been peeking at the truck race a little bit to see if they dabble in it, but so far they haven't. But it certainly will play into the race, I'm sure, at some point.
What we know the accomplishments that you've had on track and in your career, and it certainly is far from over. So we know how your legacy is going to go down as a driver. What is the thing off the track, away from racing, that you're most proud of?
Away from the track?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as soon as you become a parent, it doesn't matter who you are, you're most proud of your kid.
Yeah, yeah.
That's, I think, pretty natural.
Right.
That's almost too easy of an answer.
No, it is.
But, we have our foundation. I'm really proud of that. We have a number of people that are coming tomorrow for the race.
Tell us about it.
Which is, it's made to benefit servicemen and servicewomen who've made great sacrifice. More times than not, that means those that are pretty injured from the battlefield. And that can also be first responders as well. So that's firefighters, policemen, thank you for clapping. And we're really proud to help them out. We can't do everything. Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And so we're glad to help out and do something significant. We take them to races, give them an experience. We have different things we do with camps for PTSD. And those who are feeling mental issues, we like to help out. And we've been giving away dogs. So not just like dogs out of the rescue, although that would be great, but trained dogs that can help with those who are disabled or mentally or physically. So we've got a lot of great initiatives that we're very proud of.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. All right. Can we do a couple fun questions?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Me and my wife are coming over for dinner. What are you making?
How did you know me? All right, here's how this is going to start. First, it's going to start with my wife, Paige. I'm going to say, Paige, what are you making?
But I asked you, what are you?
Yeah, but then she's going to look at me and give me one of them looks. And I'm going to go, oh, okay, I'm going to figure something out. Then we're going to go to the grocery store. We're probably going to get some steak.
Okay.
I'll have steak and hamburgers. You cannot screw up steak and hamburgers.
Meat and potatoes kind of guy?
Meat and potatoes.
All right. So life in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Growing up,
Okay.
were you a bit of a rebel rouser?
Well, I mean, it depends on who asked.
What is
I mean, I never went to jail for it.
Oh, as a little kid, you're not.
I mean, I think that should be a...
That's a pretty low bar.
Let's set a bar somewhere here.
What's the craziest thing you did as a kid growing up that you got away with?
That I got away with.
Or you thought you got away with?
That's probably better. Craziest thing. I got a reminder of this other day, but it's...
That darn Facebook?
Yeah, well, so I took my daughter out, and it was her and my wife went to her family's place, which is in this really rural part of North Carolina where she's from. And there was this back country road, no one, for miles, right? And so I put her on my lap and I let her drive, and I filmed it and we put it on Facebook.
social media.
And, of course, somebody posted, you're gonna kill everybody. We're going like 15 mile an hour. I got my hand on the wheel and I've got the brakes.
Right. I got this.
There isn't a car for way out there. But that said, there were a few times where I might have been, I did myself, and my dad let me drive the truck through the neighborhood. There was a time I had a go-kart and I drove it to the neighborhood. I grew up in the suburbs, and so somebody might have called the cops one time. But
might have, maybe.
It might have, and so I might have stuck my go-kart in the garage just in the nick of time.
But the exhaust probably wasn't hot, right?
Yeah,
Right.
It wasn't me.
What was the first car? First street car.
My first street car was a 1994 Chrysler LeBaron.
Ooh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Convertible?
It was a convertible.
What color?
It was red. It was it had a lot of miles on it, so it hand me down. And my favorite story of this car is my parents were, like any burgers parents, nervous about their kid driving.
Sure.
16-year-old kid, got a driver's
Yeah.
license.
Yeah.
And they're like, guys, don't brag, drive safe, all those things. And I did, I was good. And so I had this car and I parked it in the driveway on a snowy day, not a scratch on it. And my dad came into the driveway a little too hard one day.
Your dad?
And he T-boned it.
No way!
Oh yeah. I never heard a word from my parents again.
How long did you didn't let him forget about that, did you?
Still have it. He T-boned it. It was icy and he still has the same truck, but he had this truck that probably should have had tires put on it, you know, like a couple months prior, and that was back before I had Discount Tires as sponsorship.
Right. And then they just signed for some more years.
Yeah, it is, which is great, but you know, those tires were a little worn out and not made for the snow, and right in the side of it.
So that
That was
first
the end of
car,
that car.
that first car was rear-wheel drive, right?
It was front.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, well, Barons are front wheel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because in the snow, those rear-wheel drive cars can be kind of fun.
Yes. No, I didn't do that. Although there was one time that I did spin it out on the freeway, and I wasn't even going that fast.
There's a story. Let's hear it.
No, I was going off an exit ramp, and I was going probably 55 mile an hour, and you know, it was one of those kind of fast exit ramps. And I had old tires on. I was like 17 or 18 years old, and I wasn't ready to put tires on. And it had been raining a little bit. Went out. Somehow I didn't hit anything. I want to put tires on.
That's because you're a future. You knew you were a future.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. I was out
Yeah.
there, you know, I was thinking going above, but we'll take it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you spending a few moments with us here.
Well, you're welcome.
And
I appreciate seeing everybody here. I'm so glad to have you here. This is my first time in this club. I've seen it from down below, but I've never realized how big it is. So it's this is a great place to watch a race. I hope.
It is.
Who's all coming back tomorrow? Show of hands. Terrific. Well, I hope you guys have a great time. Please don't do any of the things I just talked about. I've done all. Those are all mistakes. They're not recommendations.
we got the little kids here. Yeah.
So you asked me mistakes, so that I got to tell you, those were things
See, we learn from our mistakes.
we learn from our mistakes,
Yes.
but please don't. You know, this is what I tell people all the time, and I try to tell my daughter is, you can learn the hard way, but it's probably better if you don't. So,
Right.
You know, if somebody else has made a mistake, it's probably better if you listen to them and not.
Also-
of course, she's stubborn like me. And that's
Well,
what
teacher
happens.
the say, do as I say.
Not as I screwed up.
do.
Yeah, right. We're working on that.
All right.
We're working on that. She's a great kid, and I have a second daughter on the way.
Congratulations.
We've already figured out, and anyone here who has multiple kids, that since our first kid is so great, look out, world class.
Why do you think my wife and I didn't have a second one? That's why.
Yeah, she's already, so my wife is 23 weeks pregnant, and our child-to-be is already a soccer star. So we'll see how it plays out, but we'll see. Jimmy Johnson told me the same thing. He's got two daughters, and his first daughter is great. His second daughter will punch you. So he told me that. I said, all right, I'm not going to mess with your other kid. But anyway, maybe Ryan Blaney should be careful. But no, just But anyway, that's our fun times, our fun stories.
All right, well, we appreciate again your time that you
Thank
spent
you.
with us. Brad Kozlowski, everybody. Good luck tomorrow.
Hope you guys enjoy the races, and we make you proud. Of course, we'll be starting first. I haven't decided I'm going to start on the inside or outside. What do you guys think? Should I start on the inside?
Outside.
Oh, well, hey,
That was the best. Just win, baby.
That's the best. Just win, baby. All right.
World champion with your name right there.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Hopefully we can fill in a plaque here when we come back with being the race winner from this race. But either way, we're so proud to have you guys here. Glad to have you guys here. I should say, proud to have you as fans, and hope you guys have a great time. Enjoy the weekend. If you do have a few Miller Lights, please drive home safe. Make a responsible decision. Don't make the mistakes I've made in my life, although I haven't made that one. Just for the record. But please don't be the first. Anyway, have a great time, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Brad.